been missed. Moves have been missed.
She fell flat on my face. It was pure embarrassing.
Physics have been broken.
What the fuck happened there?
Laws of time and space shattered in an instant.
My legs.
Yes, this is entertainment, but the glitches are real. Whoever you are, whatever you do, please don't play this at home.
Boom! We are live! Hello, hello, hello. Why is that slowing down? Doesn't matter. Anyway, we're back here with a wee bit of guest booking. We've got another special guest this time. We have senior official of Channel Islands World Wrestling, Patrick Reid.
Hello, hello.
Patrick's joining us here, and just to make a note, because obviously a lot of wrestling people and such aren't able to work right now because of the COVID situation. So what we're doing with this one, Patrick Reid has suggested that we put in a separate donation link below, where all donations are going to be forwarded to the Resistance Gallery Fund, which is going to help keep them afloat during these times. The Resistance Gallery being, I would say, a venue of pretty good renown down in London.
Absolutely, yep.
A lot of wrestling companies have run there over the years. Most notably, I think, Pro Wrestling Eve and... what was the other one again?
Lucha Britannia and London School of Lucha Libre. It's their home base.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a very well-known wrestling venue, so any donations made at the link below, the little donation button below the stream, will go towards helping them out. So, bring the game up. I have to talk myself through everything I do. And because of the situation with the game getting updated last night and no longer having access to mods, means that I can't shortcut people into the promoter mode the way I usually would. So we're going to do something a little different. We're going to have a little pre-show match. Including a wrestler that I included at Patrick's behest by the name of Aaron Angel. And what we're going to do... oh, yeah, I suppose I better bring that up in the Discord. This is
yeah.
This is me when I stream all the time. I'm constantly forgetting to do this, that or the other. So if you look in the Discord, you should be able to see the game now.
Yeah, I've got that now.
So we've got Aaron Angel there. Hello, and also hello Alicia, Suska and Canadian Zebra in the chat. I hope you're all doing well, and thank you Alicia for the host. So we're going to... oh, before we do, what attire? Because yes, I have made several.
We have to go with the white.
Big match white. So, who is Aaron Angel going to face? Do you have anyone in mind?
I did, and standalone, this match probably sounds slightly more insane than it did on my card.
Okay.
But I want Aaron Angel to face Jimmy Havoc in a no DQ match.
Oh, in a no DQ. Now, when you say no DQ, do you mean an actual death match or just a no DQ match?
We'll just go no DQ. I think death match might be a bit much for Aaron.
Yeah. I've not seen her live in years. She used to come up here quite sort of regularly, but I know she's obviously become a regular at Eve these days.
Yeah, and she has recently become a mum, so that's been her out for the last year or so.
Right, we'll give Jimmy the deathmatch whites as well.
Oh no, I want Jimmy in black.
Oh, Jimmy.
I want the visual of it.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Very much light against dark. I want this to be, the sort of match, if you saw that on a match graphic or a poster, that immediately makes sense what you're getting out of it.
No DQ, no countouts. Yeah, should be good to go. Right, with no. This is the other thing we can't do. No, Jim, the outside thing refers. It's a bad translation. It just means no countouts. We'll just go with the regular Wrestleverse Stadium, and again I don't know if we'll be able to work this in the promoter mode, but referee Patrick Reed.
Oh, look at that.
In the promoter
Taking
mode.
a spot from Big Hands Johnson.
Well, in the promoter mode, it gives you, for each show, it gives you a choice of like a few sort of generic made-up referees and like a random handful of the referees that you've created.
Right. Okay.
We'll just double check that. Yeah, referee counts up to 28. So yeah, it just means no countouts. So Aaron Angel, Jimmy Havoc. I don't think I've got music set up for Jimmy Havoc. That's a time-consuming process in and of itself with the thousands of wrestlers I've got in this game. But yeah, have these two ever faced before?
I'm almost certain that they haven't. It's a match I've been really keen on the idea of kind of in real life for a couple of years. Just again, I love the idea of putting those two opposite each other on a graphic and it being about as far removed from each other as you can get. So whether you knew the characters or not, you can just look at it and know that you're getting something that's kind of immediately self-explanatory. And if you do know Jimmy and do know Erin,
I mean,
it's a bonus until you can't even imagine what this match would look like.
I mean, I've met them both like a handful of times in passing at shows and stuff. Oh, that's very Jimmy. The thing that's kind of making me laugh here is because, like, if anyone doesn't know Erin Angel is tiny.
Yes.
She's a very small woman, and I'm not saying that to be disparaging or anything. She just is. She's like, what, 4'11" or something?
I think that's it, 4'11", yeah.
So the fact that she's making Jimmy Havoc look like a tank here.
Yeah. One of the funniest things I've seen in an Erin Angel match was at Eve, her against Command Bolshoi.
Oh, wow.
And Bolshoi is billed as 4'10", and they've worked a couple of inches on that.
Yeah.
So Bolshoi is about 4'8", so you had Erin doing the big man spots of going for a test of strength and Bolshoi not being able to reach. And Erin Angel has never done that in her career before then. Just the idea of sort of a big man Erin Angel was hilarious.
And also a note by Suscat in the chat. Shame because AFI are banging. I mean, yeah, and like ordinarily, like when I do sort the music for a wrestler who's now under contract with, you know, AEW or WWE, if I prefer their music from the independents, I will absolutely use it. Like, goodness knows I've got, like, Jungle Boy coming out to Tarzan Boy by Baltimore.
Yeah, actually, the music would be a big part of telling the story of this match, going from AFI to S Club 7.
They're like ducking the crossbody with the look at what are you doing? That's very Jimmy as well, actually.
Yes, yeah. Oh.
No, she's holding her own. She's doing all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you ever refed a match with either of these two?
I haven't, no. Up until this year, I'd only refed for CIWW, so I made my kind of mainland UK, if you like, debut, doing a couple of shows for London Lucha League this year.
Oh, okay.
Before that, 7 years of reffing for CIWW. It's predominantly just our guys.
Yeah.
With very little in the way of UK talent. Weirdly, we pulled from the US and Europe more than we have the UK when it comes to people we're bringing in.
I noticed that, like, because I had a look on the CIWW website, and there, like, I won't lie, I wasn't familiar with a lot of the names, apart from when they had noted an import. Like, I saw you had Solo Darling at one point.
Sorry, I've lost the stream there.
Oh. If you double click the thing where the stream should be, it should come up. Oh, Jesus, Jimmy. Erin, no taking this line down though. Oh, hey, Tigray. Indeed they are, Suscat. I mean, ordinarily in this game, when you pick up a weapon in the ring, it gives you a count rather than a straight up DQ, because it's based on Japanese rules, which it's more sort of discretionary on the ref's part. So it's like if you hold an illegal hold or a weapon for the count, then you get DQ'd. Just missing the chair with the pile driver there. Oh, Jimmy chokes her out. That looks like Jimmy too. He's got that kind of sour-faced look. And stop sharing the screen and then restart it, see if that helps. I don't know why it's coming up reversed either, but... Can you see it now, Patrick? Hello?
I've lost the stream on Discord, trying to...
I've tried to bring it back up.
Disconnect and connect something.
And on my end it's showing like reversed, so I don't know what that's about. Right, 1 second. Alright, I've brought it down and I'm just going to bring it back up again.
Okay.
Hopefully that'll help. Can you see it now?
Oh, yeah, I've got you back.
Cool. Right. Booking! So 85%, so certainly a respectable score from that match. But now we go to the promoter mode, where we have, I would say, a very fine in-game roster, and we're going to see who Patrick can coax to join our little show here. I understand you've been making notes.
I have. Some of them are quite ambitious, so I'm expecting to get big leagued by a lot of my ideas here.
Okay. So,
but I've tried to utilise some of the people on your roster in some weird ways as well. So let's see what we can do.
So just for the benefit of anyone in the chat who's joining us for the first time, I'm just going to quickly scroll down the roster, just so they can see all who we have. So as you can see, this is quite a varied roster we have. And who would you like to invite to join us today?
Okay, let's have a look. I have quite you on my list. I'll start with some of the bigger names that I was rooting for. So, can we try for Volta?
Alright. I'm sure we tried him the other day and he knocked us back, but we can try again. Yeah, Walter's not having any of it.
Okay, that's him done. That's one idea out the window.
I would just like to say, Suscat, Patchworker and SMG Gaming, thank you very much for following the channel. Right, who's next?
Let's try for Pete Dunn.
Pete Dunn having none of it.
Okay. Let's switch to Japan for a couple of ideas then.
Alright.
And see if I can get Atsushi Onita, if he's in there.
He should be, unless somebody's signed him. Because this is the other thing, without the mods I can't force unlock people as having been scouted. But I'm sure we put him in a match with Johnny at one point. So unless maybe somebody's signed him.
Someone's signed him already, yeah.
I mean, even if he's under contract with another company, we can still invite him.
Yeah.
Oh man, if he would ended up in All Japan. But I'm not seeing him. Because, which is annoying because I'm sure we had him. Yeah, I am not seeing Onita anywhere.
Okay, just looking at who's there that could fill that spot. Abdullah Kobayashi?
Bloody hell.
This isn't going great.
No. It is the same for everyone though.
Yeah. Okay, I'll abandon that idea for now.
Okay.
Can we find Papa Shango?
We can, although I'm sure he's knocked us back before. Always worth a try though. Yeah.
Okay, who else is on that? Okay, there's two on that page I can see already that I can find a spot for then, and that's Charlie Evans and Skyder. Chevs, come on.
Oh, Skyder's in.
Oh, we've got some... Okay, that's going to be a little bit outside the box trying to find a spot for him, but Okay, so we've got Charlie Evans. Holly Dead, did you... I can't remember if you signed her or not.
I did add her in. But, oh shit, she'll be under the... She'll be hidden as well.
We won't worry about that. We won't worry about that one then. What was the other name I saw on there? Cora Noir.
Cara's in.
Excellent, and on the same page I saw Spike Trevay, so let's go for him.
I'm sure he knocked us back when Jean was on, but we can try.
Yeah. Okay. Sammy Jane, I think I've seen her knock you back before, but we'll give it a go.
Oh.
Okay, Chris Ridgway.
I'm not understanding this at all.
This is not going great. Okay, I want someone for that Papa Shango spot, so let's try and think of a early 90s WWF mid-carder.
Right.
Oh, I see Giant Gonzalez. We can go for him.
Oh, he always knocks us back, and believe us, we have tried to get him.
Yeah, okay.
Let's scroll back down. So yeah, there it starts getting into the... Oh yeah, because WWE went out of business in this save, so...
Okay.
That's why they're all in the free agents, but...
Yeah.
I think, like, weird early 90s.
Let's go for the Mountie.
And again, believe me, I have tried to get him before. Of course I have. He's an Mountie.
That's the sort of ilk I'm looking at. And find someone along those lines that will agree to sign with us.
So the WWE people, all of them. We did manage to sign Matt Riddle and Rusev.
Okay. Try Steve Blackman. It's not exactly what I was going for, but... Okay.
Yeah, nobody wants to work with us, even though we're like easily the biggest company in Europe.
Yeah. Marty Jannetty.
Jannetty's in.
Excellent.
Would
I saw Steve Williams on that page as well. We'll go for him.
apparently not.
Scott Norton?
Oh, I hope. Oh.
No. Okay, I'm going to abandon that line of thinking entirely. Who else was I going for? Dan Severn.
Dan Severn. If he was on it, would be on here.
Yeah, it's not a deal breaker if he's not there.
I don't think he is.
No.
Again, if I still had the mods active, I'd just be able to force unlock them. But
yeah. Let's try for Max the Impaler. I haven't just spotted her on there.
I like her a lot. No.
No, okay. Chris Wolf. I'm clutching at straws now, but I'm pretty much going to have to scrap the majority of my cards now. Now I can't remember if Addie Starr was already on your roster or not.
We do have her signed.
Okay, brilliant. That's someone at least. Can you keep scrolling through North America, and I'll just say if anyone jumps out. Let's go for Mike Quackenbush.
Oh, bloody hell. And yet we've been able to get people like The Undertaker and CM Punk.
Yeah. Can you try for EC3? Okay.
EC3 is having none of it.
I'm getting desperate. Can we try Kona Reeves?
Where is he? Did I go by him?
No, it's near the top. I think up another couple.
Oh yeah. Indeed we cannot.
Can't get Kona Reeves. Okay.
Can I just say that I love that AEW only released one of the Young Bucks?
Oh yeah, there's just Nick in there. Brilliant. Can you scroll back to Latin America?
I don't know why so many of the Irish girls are there, by the way.
No. Let's try for Haku.
Oh please, please. Oh.
Ah.
I was educating Amy Alonzi about Haku the other day. And that was pretty much all of the CMLL roster and some other people.
Oh, can I try for Giant Barber? I've no idea what I'd do with him. But...
Shame.
Okay. I think I've exhausted ideas, so let's try and work with what we've got.
Alright. So book event, standard. So we've got our main roster plus Cara Noir, Skyda, Marty Jannetty. Oh, and Jacob Fatu wanted to work for us.
Oh, I love Jacob Fatu. I'm sure I'll be able to find something for him.
So, what is your opener?
Okay, well, I always think that an opener should be assuming that some of your audience have never seen wrestling before and kind of teaching them how it works.
Okay.
And should also have a little bit of comedy in there, because I think making people laugh is the easiest way to get them to open up and warm up to what they're watching, and it sort of teaches them that it's all right to react.
That's very fair.
What I had on paper was going to be Charlie Evans and Martina, so we'll start with Martina in there, and I'll try and find another opponent for her.
So, a singles match in?
Yeah.
Alright, so we do have Martina. What attire are we going?
What have we got? Number 3.
The classic.
Yeah.
Alright.
So who do we have that would be a good, straightforward match for Martina? Let's go with Angel Hayes in there.
That's a good shout, I think. Alright, so how are we following that?
Okay, so a next match I wanted something that again was fairly straightforward but with a bit more of a clear story to it. And what I had on paper here was I wanted to aim for Jokey and Holidead.
Okay. But obviously we can't.
We'll go with Jokey again.
Because we do have attires.
Let's go for the first one for Jokey.
And who's she doing a fight at?
And let's put her against Jailer Dark. Not fussed on the attire, I'll let you choose that one.
Alright. With that. I was thinking about doing the classic Bet Noir one, but then the curse would come back.
Okay, number 3, I think this will be my first intergender, so I'll go with Addy Starr on one side of this singles match.
I did not see NXT last night. Nightwing. Was it good? And who's she doing a wrestle with?
Now, this is the spot that I wanted for Spike Trevay, so I want someone who's a mouthy prick that you'd be happy to see get beaten up by Addy in there. And now that I've said that, I'm going to have to choose someone else and potentially offend someone calling them a mouthy prick.
I don't know, I think... who are you thinking?
I'll go a completely different direction with this and put her against Nick Gage.
Well then. So how are you going to follow up that madness?
This is where I wanted something more technical, which ideally I wanted Ridgeway for, so that's what we've got. Another singles match.
Okay, so well then, we've still got the guests who are Cara Noir,
So
Skyda, Janetti and Fatu.
Let's do Cara Noir against Skyda, yeah?
Oh,
I have really no idea what that would look like other than like nothing I've seen before. Two incredibly inventive people, which is what I wanted from that. Something that would be like a technical masterpiece, but at the same time like nothing you've seen before.
yeah.
So, next match, where were we? Let's go for a tag team match. And I'd quite like a fair bit of high flying in this one if we can.
Hmm.
There's I think a shortage of that elsewhere on my card. So let's throw Johnny Impact in there. Let's stick Johnny with... Let's go with Jodie Summers.
And who are they doing a wrestle at?
Can I have a look at the moveset for Spot Monkey there? The name is jumping out at me. Yeah, I think we're going to need to have Spot Monkey in there. Now, who do we put Spot Monkey with? Warren Banks.
Alright.
No idea what I'm doing with that match. Singles match next. And this should be Danhausen versus a bear.
Danhausen versus not just any bear, a giant bear.
A giant bear. Now, what have I got next? I want a Gene Money match here, so I think they'll probably all be singles matches from now on.
Alright, so... Hello Jen, how are you doing? The Gene versus...
Now, this is the spot that initially I wanted Copper Shango for. So let's try and think. Need to put in that position. It's going to be Marty Jannetty, I think.
What tires has he got? Go with the classic.
Yeah.
And another singles.
And all of my ideas have pretty much fallen apart now. So let's go with Jacob Fatu. Seeing if we've got him against Daisuke Sakamoto. Just two big lads, human conkers. So that leaves we've got two matches left.
Yep.
Okay, so another singles. And I've yet to use Viper, so let's do Viper against Rosemary.
Nice. And the main event.
Okay, let's have a proper look who we've got. No, in fact, no, I know exactly what I'm doing for the main. This is going to be Grado versus Vince McMahon.
Of course.
Why would it be anything else? I don't think I've managed to get in a single match that I had planned for it, so let's see how this goes instead.
And it looks like it will be Big Hands Johnson reffing.
I'm perfectly happy with that.
And make sure the DQs and the Addy.
Absolutely.
Make sure the DQs and that are off. Make sure everything else is as it should be. Yep, we're good. We can't.
Let's see how we go.
We can't do custom ring today, Chainsaw, because of the mods aren't in effect because of the update yesterday. Yeah, that's a card. All thanks to special Marty Jannetty's no-showed.
Oh no, that does not sound like Marty Jannetty at all.
I wonder what could have happened. Well, like
So,
3 and a bit years in, and that's the first one of those we've had.
so is that match completely off, or do we have to replace Marty?
It's completely gone.
Okay, that's a shame. Okay, let's go ahead with what we've got then.
Alright, so opening up will be Session Moth Martina versus Angel Hayes.
Which might be the only sensible match on the card, which is saying something for a Martina match.
Yeah. The chat are shocked that Marty Jannetty would no-show.
It's unheard of.
Oh yeah, and because there's no mods, like all the themes are going to be whacked as well.
Ah, that's a shame.
Or some of them anyway.
I love seeing the random championships that people have ended up holding.
Oh yeah, we've stolen so many championships.
MLW Tag Team Champion Martina.
Alright, I don't know why Angel Hayes' theme's gubbed, because I made her. Representative of Money's Honeys.
Big hands, Johnson.
Oh yeah. Those are some big hands. So who do you have winning this one?
I think my money's on Martina for this one. Although that's not looking especially likely so far.
I mean, Angel coming off the back of a tough loss, getting absolutely destroyed by Andy Wilde.
Oh.
Oh, strong style Martina there.
Yes, yeah. So far missing more moves than she's connecting with, I think.
Yeah, and Big Hands Johnson literally exists because I thought of the name Big Hands Johnson, and I knew what I had to do.
I'm very happy that he exists. There are some very big hands.
Like a lot of the sort of fictional characters that we've made in recent weeks as well have been as a result of just stupid things getting said in the chat.
Oh yeah, you absolutely have to start with the stupid name and work from there.
Like
I've got a feeling that
we now have
90% of CIWW. Sorry, carry on.
Oh no, saying we now have a deathmatch guy called Rip Kaboom.
That is fantastic. I think 90% of the wrestlers in CIWW, their names started out in the same way.
Yeah,
they were created wrestlers on No Mercy 20 years ago, or names that we came up with at the pub and then created a wrestling gimmick to fit around.
That's the thing, like, and a few people have said this in the chat on previous ones, that obviously a lot of the guests I've had on so far have been from the Scottish scene, which is my local scene.
Yes.
Whereas, you know, you're from the Channel Islands, which has its own company there, and that's one that I know nothing about, so I'm going to be learning something today.
Yeah, I mean, we've only ever run in Jersey, so we don't have a... we have a bizarre amount of followers outside of the Channel Islands with that in mind, but you know, our talent aren't really working anywhere else, so it's a very strange, self-contained little scene.
Is it like...
And we're...
like, what kind of size shows is it? Because obviously, like, Jersey's a pretty small place.
Yeah, I mean, we average 150 to 200 people. It's a decent turnout.
Yeah. For a place as small as Jersey, you know that.
Yeah.
And it's not like it would be an easy place for someone from like the mainland to just hop over to for the sake of a wrestling show either.
Exactly. Yeah, for the most part, people need to already be there. They're not coming out just for the show. That has happened usually when we've had imports, but generally it's a very kind of self-contained narrative. We run the same couple of venues all the time. We have our regulars that have been coming for years. We do a lot of comedy, a lot of family-friendly stuff.
Yeah,
so it's sort of its own little universe.
Yeah, I got like actually almost a Chikara kind of vibe, like looking at the page, like from some of the characters.
Yeah, there's a big Chikara influence, which was there from early on. And then from a couple of years in, we've actually worked with quite a few of the talent from Chikara. So we've worked with Ophidian for years, and he's been great coming over and doing seminars and shows with us. He was our very first import. And through him, we've used... we had Solo Darling last year, and in the past we've booked Frightmare, Soldier Kimberly, Heidi Lovelace and Drew Gulak off the back of one of the Chikara UK tours. They came over and did a weekend with us as well.
Oh wow!
So there is quite a clear line to be drawn from us to Chikara, which is I'm a huge Chikara fan, so that's worked out very nicely for me.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that UK tour you're on about as well, because I was actually at the Glasgow date.
Yeah, I mean, they did a couple of tours and then did trios in Wolverhampton the next year. And I think it was the end of the second tour, the guys came over to us for a couple of shows.
Yeah, that would have been the same one. It was the one, in fact, it was the show I was at where Kimberly lost the title.
Yes, yeah, that'll be right then, because she was she'd lost the belt by the time she was wrestling for us.
We even got because Heidi Lovelace was on the show as well, against of all people Nixon Newell, now obviously Tegan Knox in NXT.
Of course, yeah, and I know Hart was very, very keen on Nixon as well. Really impressed by her, from what I remember.
Yeah, how could you not be? She's fantastic.
Of course, yeah.
We're going a bit longer than I anticipated opener going, but
yeah, this is turning into an epic.
oh, here we go. Strong styling each other again.
Yes. Oh.
Oh, that would have been an amazing finish.
Yeah, it was. That was a great sequence. I remember the first time I ever played a Fire Pro game was on one of the SNES games on emulator,
All right, okay.
And I lost because I did a pile driver, and then on rolling out of the position, fell out of the ring, landed on my head, and couldn't figure out how to get back in again. It's my first memory of Fire Pro, that. But I've always liked the collision detection allowing for throwing people out of the ring and so on.
Yeah. And the next DLC for this is going to add the ability to create your own moves.
Oh, nice. Oh.
You know, for someone that took a pasting off Andy Wilde in the last show, she's doing no half bad.
She is. So. There it is.
Hell of a showing for Angel Hayes.
It was indeed, yeah.
There we go. That's, I would say, quite a fine way to start a show.
Absolutely, yeah. It was not the match I had in mind, but that over-delivered, I think. No offence to either of them.
Next up, Jokey and Jayla Dark, who have wrestled before. No worries, Jen, thank you for coming out. I hope your work shift goes very, very quickly. Oh, see if this kills Jayla's entrance, because I had her coming out to Scooter.
Oh, let's hope not.
Jokey's music gone, and I made the Jokey as well.
Nice.
Oh, no worries, Takeaway. I mean, that's. I'll be honest, that's me just getting used to the parts creation, which is the new thing they've added, and it's all sprite sheets and stuff, which is new to me. So we just have to pretend Scooter are playing here.
Yeah.
Right, I think this Jailer was the first thing I made. So yeah, they wrestled each other last year, last year, in Fierce Females.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
It's
been a long time since I last saw Jokey.
Well, she's out injured just now.
Oh right, okay.
She got injured in January. She actually had to vacate the ICW Women's title.
Right, okay. Yeah, I'm completely out of the loop on the Scottish scene for the last kind of year or more.
So the curse of the Fierce Females title continues, which is everyone who ever wins it, once they lose it, they never appear for the company again.
Right.
Because the first one was Kaylee Ray, and
yeah,
like obviously when she lost it, that was when she was starting to really pick up steam and get booked more overseas and stuff. So it was just she was always taken. And then it was the same. She lost the title to Viper, and it was the same deal when Viper.
So, yeah.
And then she lost the title to Jayla, who, you know, I think it was her third or fourth final match ever when she lost the title.
Yeah.
Sammy Jane vacated it because I don't know what was going on, but she wasn't going to be able to fulfill some of the dates, so she vacated it.
Yeah.
Hasn't been in the company since. And now Giselle Shaw has it. Oh my god, and the same thing happened with their internet title as well.
Oh right.
I mean,
Who held that one?
There's only been one David Keitel has it just now. But they've only had one previous champion, and that was Danny Hunter.
Yeah.
Who I think is just kind of like calling it a day.
Right, okay.
Which is a shame, because she's really good.
I don't think I've ever seen her, actually.
Yeah, that was the thing. You never... Like, Fierce Females is the only company I've ever actually seen her wrestle live at.
Yeah.
I think she came from the Future Shock school.
Okay.
But like the few times I saw her at Fierce Females, she was always like really, really good.
Yeah.
I don't know like what's happened with her career. Like maybe if like life getting in the way or whatever. But it was always a shame that I never saw her really getting booked elsewhere because I rated her pretty highly. Oh, get kicked!
Oh, nice.
Because I'll need to make a Danny Hunter at some point because I'm trying to go all in on the people who have been getting ignored on the workshop.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I even had to make like Jokey and Sami Jane surprised me.
Yeah, like Sammy especially.
Yeah, because she's kind of everywhere and even wrestled Stardom and stuff, but nobody had made her. There was another, like, oh yeah, the Woke Queens as well, I had to make them.
Yeah, again, that's a surprise.
The only of the Irish girls that were up were Katie Harvey and Martina. And the Katie Harvey was stupidly overpowered. Like, was basically fighting like Suzuki.
Yeah, I guess I always just tend to assume that absolutely anyone who's ever made tape is in this game. Like, the amount of obscure people that do get made, it's always a surprise when you find someone that isn't in.
Yeah, I mean, for like the Scottish scene, obviously they had the NXT UK people, and out with that, it was just like a handful of the more obvious ICW names. You know, people like Lionheart, Jack Jester.
Because I know I've got the PS4 version, and I've scrolled through some of the people you can get from that, and the amount of people who are guys who were kickboxers or martial artists who had one match in Japan. So made, given a full set of moves, 4 attires, all the logic and everything, and yet people that are wrestling every week aren't in there.
Yeah. Oh, no worries, Chainsaw. I enjoy doing it. So 81, decent. There's anything below 80, I'm kind of like, oh, that's when I get disappointed. So
right.
I know my Jail of Dark's up on the PS4 one actually. My friend Sasha adapted it for that.
I'll have to have a look for that one. I haven't played it in probably over a year now, so well overdue an update, or probably just to completely wipe the slate clean and start over.
Oh yeah, she's got that junior, because one of the mod things that can happen is if a company goes out of business in game, they get replaced by a random made up one. But the titles carry over, if that makes sense. So I think that used to be the CMLL Junior Championship.
Right, okay. So this is a very different match to what I had in mind initially for Addy, but I'd still like to see it.
Who was it you had in mind for Addy?
Initially, I was going to have her against Spike Trevay.
Yeah, that could have been fun.
I wanted Addie Starr kicking the shit out of a mouthy heel, really.
Yeah. I mean,
but I'll take a brawl between these two any day.
I mean, I guess the only mouthy heel I've really got in the books is Christopher Saint.
Right. Yeah.
And Chainsaw doing the numbers on how many tickets we shifted, and apparently our attendance or projected attendance dropped by 15,000 because of Marty Jannetty bailing.
Oh no!
Yeah, he's
a super draw, Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, he's over, brother. Yeah, Saint's a good mouthy heel.
Yeah, again, not really familiar with him.
He doesn't really get booked outside Scotland, which is a shame because he's decent in the ring, but he's like very loud and charismatic.
Right.
Like for a while, he was just kind of your sort of bog standard, like, well, say bog standard. You know what I mean? Like your sort of general purpose family show heel kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I think 2014, he came out as being gay, and
okay.
It was when that happened you started to see him put a lot more of his real life personality into the character.
Yeah.
And he's ref's down.
Big Hans Johnson's down.
And it's since that happened that you've started to see, like, he's been a lot more entertaining with it. Just like putting his own humour and jibes at the crowd and stuff into the character, and it works really well for him, I think.
I'll have to have a look out for him.
Also, it's annoying me now because I've noticed whoever made this ad, he messed up with the face layer and. And it's like I can't unsee it, and I'm going to have to fix it.
Yeah, once you've noticed it.
So, what would be your stratagem if you had to referee a Nick Gage match? Beyond run or steer clear? You still there, man?
Sorry, yeah, just dropped out for a second, but I'm back.
So what would be your, like, I guess, approach if you had to referee a Nick Gage match?
Oh God. See, I've never refereed anything that even comes close, so it's that's a difficult one to call because I don't think I'd know how I'd work that kind of match until I was in it. It's so much of it is reacting to what's going on around you.
Yeah.
But I think just staying out of his way would be 90% of it.
So just steer clear.
Yeah, and sort of make a lot of noise in the background trying to get him to stop doing things.
There's a point from Chainsaw in the chat. If you bet on who would bleed first in a match between Nick Gage and Addie Starr and you pick the ref, congrats, you're a liar.
Yeah, Big Hans Johnson is busted open. Oh.
And Addie Starr, of course, like, and it's a weird one, is one half of the most watched match on the entirety of YouTube.
Is that right?
Yep.
Is it? Is it one of the Lego matches or something?
No, it's her against. Oh, what's the guy's name? I can't remember the dude's name, but 1 second, I'll look it up. And I think a lot of perverts have just looked it up because it's a guy and a woman. But like, it's got an absurd amount of views.
Was it? I've got a feeling I might know what it is, and I'm blanking on the guy's name. It was
Stan Styles.
No, that's not even what I was thinking of.
From Beyond Wrestling.
Yeah.
With 22 million views.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I have no idea about that. That's bizarre.
I think it was Mike that runs ISW that pointed it out during an NL stream once, and it was like, oh, okay. And I looked up, and sure enough, crazy amount of views and everything.
Yeah, that's mental.
Yeah, but yeah, I think because it's not like, I mean, I'm not as familiar with Stan Styles, but for Addy, it's just kind of like a regular match. Like, there's no big like Lego spots or anything like that in it.
No.
So, I think like a lot of perverts have discovered it. Maybe
that's a safe bet. Yeah.
Maybe Pornhub's blocked at their work or something, and and Addy with the win.
Nice.
Again, only
I didn't have.
Only saw her wrestle live once.
Actually, I've seen Addy a bunch from her last run in Eve, really. So always good value for money.
She came up here once to wrestle Jayla at Fierce Females, and they knocked the shit out of each other.
I can imagine, yeah.
Now next up, Cara Noir versus Skyda. That's an odd match, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, this was the most throwing shit at the wall match on the card, I think. I'd be fascinated to see what they came up with in real life on this. Because I can't even begin to imagine it, really. I heard a story about Skyder once that he'd spend hours in the ring before a show working with anyone who would get in with him, and he wouldn't leave until he'd figured out a way to pin you that he'd never seen done before.
Oh, okay.
So he'd basically try and invent a new hold every single time he wrestled.
He's one of those guys that kind of wrestled everywhere, really, as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I mean,
you'd see a lot more styles and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, his main background was Torimon Gym with Ultimo Dragon. He had that real hybrid of Japanese and lucha libre styles within. But even within lucha, it's a very specific style that he uses, much more focused on holds and escapes.
Yeah. Also, Chainsaw in the chat is saying that he has actually seen Addy and Nick Gage in the same match.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Chainsaw in the chat says that he has actually seen Addy and Nick Gage in the same match.
Fantastic.
Along with Matt Tremont and Jeff Cannonball.
Yes, I have seen clips of that, actually, and I think that was the match I was trying to think of when you said that she had one of the most watched on YouTube.
Was that the one? Was that the one that was, I think, WrestleMania weekend last year? Or am I thinking of something else?
I think it was a Mania weekend show, so that sounds about right. But I've only ever seen kind of clips and gifs from it. I've never seen the whole match.
I remember watching it on Fight, and yeah, it was as brutal as you'd expect, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yes, that was it. ISW Boner Jams. I remember watching that show on Fight. It was just, it was nuts. So who would you call winning this one?
I really have no idea. I'm going to say Cara Noir, but I'm basing that on nothing at all. That was a strange choice of sound effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I know, Skyder's still wrestling, but he's not someone I've seen in years. He used to pop up in the US a lot more often than he does now.
Oh, he'll be getting on a bit now, right? He'll be well into his 50s at least.
Oh, easily, yeah. Yeah, I think last time I saw anything from him would have been about 10, 12 years ago, and he wasn't young then. I don't remember ever hearing of him retiring, though.
One thing I would like to do with the sound effects is for people like BT Gunn and Walter and that, I would just like to make their chops louder.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, come on, Skyler, you know better than that.
Just checked on Cage Match. He's still wrestling this year in Lucha Promotions I've never heard of. And did some... he did a trios match for CIWW last year, so he's still popping up in all the right places. Oh, good leapfrog.
And the man who must have manky feet after that wins.
Yeah, I've always a bit skeeved out by barefoot wrestling. I think it's a great look, but anyone who's spent any time in and on wrestling rings, I can't imagine why you'd want to.
Actually, I mean, I work in a shop, and last couple of shifts before we closed down, I wore latex gloves. And
yeah,
if you could have seen how filthy they were after like an hour.
Like, yeah, all the stuff you pick up on them that you don't notice is on your hands the rest of the time.
Like to the point that, like, I don't know if you know, even when all of this is over, I might just continue wearing gloves.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
I think a lot of people will.
There we go, Jody Summers and John Morrison.
Yeah, so this is another one that was a bit of a desperation, throwing things at the wall and hoping for the best. I think even on paper, I'd never figured out what this match was going to be. I just wanted a flippy tag team match, or some flippy boys versus some strong men. But I think this will be a decent enough combination in there.
Yeah. I mean, Spot Monkey's certainly a flippy boy.
I'm sure he is. And then Warren doesn't exactly fit the mould, but he's more than capable of flying about and just everything else.
I used to make Spot Monkey in the 2K games as well. The only thing he's missing here, and I'll be able to do it now that Parts Craft thing's out, is the only thing he's missing is the red handprints on his thighs.
Excellent.
Yeah, he does like a good flip. And his logic's like weird as well. Like, rather than going for the pin, he'll just keep trying to do moves to you.
Oh, nice, nice. That is yeah, definite Spot Monkey logic. There was someone I downloaded for Fire Pro. I think, again, it was one of these guys that had one match in Japan. It was Raja Lion or someone like that.
Alright.
A big useless oath. And I was getting however far into this match, either with him or against him, when I realised he didn't have a single pin in his moveset. The match just went, it dragged and dragged and dragged. Well, I don't know if that was on purpose or...
I mean, some of the...
by who?
Because I guess there's like shoot fighters in the game, so...
Yeah, I suppose they wouldn't have pins unless someone's fought that you're going to bother bucking them in a wrestling match and not the MMA style stuff. So I know when I've looked at who's available, there's always a ton of boxers and the UFC guys.
And I'll also point out the Warren Banks and the Jodie Summers were both me as well.
Oh, nice.
No one had made Warren Banks. And, Sugar Dunkerton demanded that we sign him, so...
Yeah. Well, he's someone I've seen a fair of quite recently, and I just think he impresses me every time I see him, and I'm convinced there's nothing he can't do.
Yeah.
He just seems to have everything. He was in a match at the last Riptide show that Gene Money stood behind me watching it, marking out more than I've ever seen anyone pop for anything. Just at how good Warren Banks was. Just every spot had Gene doing victory laps of the corridor we were in and screaming and shouting. It was incredible.
A good point there from Chainsaw in the chat. Possibly the idea is that Raja Lion is so bad he wouldn't know enough on how to go for a pin.
That is perfectly believable, yeah.
Or he's so
I assumed,
or so immobile that he can't get down to one knee.
That's it might not be it might not even be possible. I kind of assumed that someone had watched Raja Lyon's, as far as I know, only wrestling match, and seen that he went for no pins in there. I thought, well, that's not one of his moves, so why would you give him a pin?
Also, yes, Suska, Warren Banks is great. Like, and when I make someone in the game, unless it's someone I'm like very familiar with, where I've seen them, loads of times, I'll go into YouTube and just watch a bunch of matches, and so I can get like things like move sets and move sequences down.
Yeah.
And there's worse ways to spend your time than watching a bunch of Warren Banks matches.
Oh, absolutely. It's a decent afternoon. That is.
The same thing the other day when I was making more than hype.
Yeah, watching a ton of more than hype matches is it's not a chore.
They were signed at the insistence of Amy Alonzi.
Right. This one is breaking down.
Yeah, that's why I popped the speed up a little bit, because tag matches can sometimes go on for quite a bit.
They do, yeah. Especially if you've got a guy in there whose logic is never to go for pins as well.
Yeah. I mean, a few of these moves do end in pins, to be fair.
Of course, yeah.
Like the running shooting star and some of his top rope moves.
Yeah. How John let that happen, I don't know. I'm becoming a big Spot Monkey fan.
Yeah, everyone loves Spot Monkey. And we debuted a new Lucha guy as well. Again, based on just a stupid thing that got said in the chat. I can't even remember who by. But basically a masked luchador called Super Anus. A lot of bum-based offense.
I'm sure, yeah.
And he's like over like Spot Monkey now already, and he's only had a couple of matches.
Obviously, that tag team is called Monkey in the Bank.
Oh, it has to be. Well, a bit of a lower rating there. Possibly too much of a clash of styles, as happens sometimes.
Oh, yeah, that's
right. And speaking of a clash of styles, Danhausen versus a bear.
I think this is the only match on this card that I actually had on paper as well. It's the only one that's gone according to plan.
Chainsaw says they keep picturing Super Anus's mask looking like Arseface from Preacher. But I actually tried to model it on, because I used parts of the Sin Cara mask, but right. I tried to make it look like, you know, like the anus flag from Community.
Yes. Yeah.
I tried to make the mask look like that.
Yeah, I think I can picture that.
So Danhausen's probably going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
Because this bear is overpowered.
I wasn't expecting the bear to start by running the ropes, but oh yeah.
Oh, this bear will surprise you. So I made the bear initially because it's a Fire Pro stream tradition that we have, where to finish things out, we'll take a wrestler either picked at random or picked by the chat and put them in a shoot fight with a bear.
Of course.
And a few people have beaten the bear.
Okay.
Aisha Raymond beat the bear.
I can picture that.
Tyler Bate.
Okay.
Chris Hero. And two of our made up roster have done it as well.
Yeah.
Including me. I beat the bear last night.
Excellent. Danhausen is holding his own against the bear pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Until that happens, anyway.
You can't suplex a bear, Danhausen. Oh yeah, Brad Armstrong beat the bear.
Oh.
We don't know how, but he did.
No.
Oh, and I think the only other one who did it was Effie.
Okay. There's a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah. But, like Effie going over on top of a bear. Yeah, I think we can
yeah.
work something out of that.
Oh, he couldn't go to the top.
I beat the bear sounds like a wanking joke, says Suscat. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm confident enough to describe it as a bear, but, you know. Oh yeah, that's true. Someone actually, after that stream, someone actually tweeted Effie telling him that he beat the shit out of a bear. But would the bear be enough to make Danhausen swear?
He's making a good account of himself against the bear, I think. He might have this.
That's a suggestion. Mike Elgin versus a bear.
I mean, I normally wouldn't want to see Mike Elgin, but I'll make an exception for that one.
I mean, we did do that once with Tessa Blanchard, but it was Tessa Blanchard versus 4 bears. The bears won in about 2.5 minutes, which by Fire Pro standards is insanely quick.
That is incredible, yeah. Oh.
Oh no!
This has taken a turn.
Yeah, the bear has poor depth perception. That's why he can't climb the turnbuckles. Oh no! There's that poor depth perception again.
Oh, the bear's signature spot. If that doesn't end up leading into the finish, I'll be so disappointed.
See, the bear has enough ring positioning to know to drag him away from the ropes.
It does, yeah.
Oh, and there it is.
Oh.
I mean, Danhausen put up a valiant effort, but
He did. He did. I'll take 82 for that.
Next up, Jacob Fatu versus Daisuke Sekimoto. Hell yeah.
For a match I cobbled together at the last minute, this is one I actually really want to see in real life now.
Yeah, and you get that in this mode. Sometimes if your company's doing well, you'll get a message from a wrestler from another company or a free agent like offering to work your show.
Okay, and that's how we've ended up with Fatu here.
Yeah, it was just that happened at the end of the live stream and I forgot about it. Yeah,
this
we go.
is definitely the beefiest match on the card.
Oh yeah, two strong boys.
Yeah.
Daisuke Sekimoto, former champion of ours,
Excellent.
lost to Andy Wilde. That's our title lineage. There's only been 4 champions so far. Jayla Dark, Rosemary, Daisuke Sekimoto and Andy Wilde.
God, Rosemary versus Daisuke Sekimoto sounds like a fascinating match. A big fan of everything I've seen from Jacob Fatu, though. I think he's incredible.
I think it's harder than anything for that family to turn out a duff wrestler, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the worst of them are still decent.
Yeah.
I don't think I could tell you who the worst of that family is, but
No, I mean, I'm struggling to think offhand of any that I would say aren't that good, you know?
no. Even, I'd say guys like maybe Samu or Lance Hanawai or something. They're still good, and they're still kind of big bruisers, which is what I like to see.
Yeah, it's just they don't. It's not like, say, like Rikishi or the Usos, where they have something that sets them apart.
No, yeah. And I think that's one of the interesting things I find with Jacob, which is he very obviously looks like and dresses the part of being a member of that family.
Yeah.
He dresses like one of the Islanders. And then goes out there and wrestles completely differently. Yeah, he's got a lot of high spots, a lot of really creative stuff on top of the kind of Islander tropes. I'm surprised he doesn't show up in more places, really.
I mean, I'm sure he will in time, because most of that family do tend to, you know, get around, and I mean, hopefully it's something that will come from him. He's still pretty young, isn't he?
I assume so, yeah.
Oh, so beefy.
Sakamoto is a very beefy boy.
But did I ever tell you that the main thing, or the impetus behind starting the Wrestling Without Context account was actually a Sika segment?
No!
Yeah.
What was that then?
So I was watching on the network some of the old Saturday Night Main Events, just, you know, for a bit of nostalgia.
Yeah.
And there was one just, I think it's the one just before WrestleMania 4. And there's a match between Sika and Jake the Snake Roberts. And before it, there's a backstage interview with Sika and Mr. Fuji getting interviewed by Mean Gene. And Fuji's giving it all, you know, oh, he's going to eat the snake, and, you know, all that kind newspaper. But to illustrate this visually, Sika's holding a giant sub sandwich that, and I'm not kidding, it must be like 3 or 4 feet long. And Fuji's got like a giant jar of mustard, like one of those sort of like those sort of pale mustardy coloured ones that just have mustard across it in huge black letters.
Yeah.
And I thought, can you imagine being like, you know, an old school fan of the days of, you know, Bob Backlund or Bruno Sammartino, where it's all serious wrestlers, and you're flicking channels and you think, oh, there's wrestling on, I'll check it out. And the first thing you see is this big Samoan lad with like a 4-foot sandwich.
Oh, wow.
And then I thought, hell, well, you know, wrestling's full of moments like that.
Yeah,
it
absolutely is.
If you just tuned in at that moment and had no idea what was going on, you'd be pretty confused.
Yeah.
I started just thinking, oh yeah, this would be something to make my friends laugh and that, and then before I know it, like in under a month, it's got more followers than my own account, and but it's been a good laugh running it.
Yeah.
That, and like I've actually made friends through running it and stuff as well that I go to shows with and stuff now, so
That's good. Flexing your biceps after an elbow strike is a great gimmick.
yeah, and does the job as well.
Wow, yeah. That is a finish.
Okay, so imagine tuning into the wrestling for the first time during the segment, say Hogan training Mean Gene. I'd have rated it higher than that, but
Yeah, yeah.
well, still 2 matches to go. Yeah, this Mean Gene guy seems like a proper athlete. I think one of the things that might be hurting it though is the smaller crowd. Because of that Marty Jannetty no showing us.
Marty Jannetty let us down so badly.
Here she is, the leader of the elite. That's the thing. I mean, Jim in the chat says Jannetty maniacs, but what would Jannetty fans call themselves? And here comes Rosemary, who again, if anyone missed it or that, we have booking the show for us on Monday.
Definitely keen to check that one out.
Her only priority is getting a higher score than Everett. For Marty Jannetty fans, tries to resist urge to say his possible daughters.
Yeah, probably best not speculating on why Marty Jannetty or what Marty Jannetty's up to when he's not at this show.
A match I'd like to see. But they have met before, but it's all been four ways and stuff.
Yeah, never a singles match. Yeah, this wasn't one I had planned coming in until I realised that I hadn't done anything with Viper and that I wanted her on the card somewhere. But I think, yeah, this would be a fantastic match.
Viper, who in our leaderboard for this is currently placed 5th.
I'm trying not to get constantly distracted by Big Hands Johnson.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Occasionally the camera will pan across and you can just see his big hands.
Yeah, Viper put on a belter of a show.
Yeah, I can't remember if I watched the whole thing, but I was watching a part of that to get a feeling for how this all works. And yeah, I was impressed with a lot of the stuff she was coming up with.
And plus it was thanks to her that we signed Rosie Knight.
Oh, no. Oh.
The Mist.
The boys missed. It doesn't seem to have accomplished anything, but there we go.
It actually plays havoc with their stamina.
Right, okay.
Is that true? Suskat in the chat says, is Big Hands Johnson your new ref hero?
He might be up there.
Him, presumably Bryce.
Bryce, absolutely. Big fan of Tommy Young, although any referee will tell you that Tommy Young is the greatest of all time, and any promoter would absolutely tell you a new arsehole if you tried to do half the shit that Tommy Young did. He's so hands-on and active and distracting all the time. It all makes sense, it's all kind of perfectly logical that he's doing, but you would get eaten alive if you tried to do it as a referee today. But he's still probably one of my main heroes and ones to watch and learn from. Whereas, I don't know, there's not a lot I can emulate from Big Hands Johnson, because my hands remain the size that they are.
We could buy, like the big Hulk gloves you get in kids' toy shops and that.
Yeah, that could be a gimmick there.
And that's true chainsaw. Aubrey Edwards is wonderful.
Aubrey is absolutely superb, you're right. I like referees to have a little bit of personality and not just fade into the background all the time. And Aubrey knows when to to turn that up when it matters.
So the current leaderboard, it's Viper in 5th, Amy Alonzi in 4th,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I missed that. Question from Tigray. Apologise, Tigray, I did miss that. How long have you been reffing, Patrick?
I think it's 7 or 8 years, and it'll be around this weekend or a couple of weekends ago would have been the anniversary of my first show. So yeah, it'll be this year would be going into my 8th year.
And you said it's only like the last sort of year or so you've actually been like out with the Channel Islands as well.
That's right. Yeah, it's both. I've done 2 shows this year for London Lucia. Those are my first 2 outside of Jersey.
And that's them that Greg Burridge runs, right?
That's right. Yeah. But obviously, all that kind of slowed down now that there aren't shows around to referee at all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would have been the start of CIW's kind of new season last weekend. And obviously that's not happened. So we should have had a show last Sunday and this Sunday, which obviously that's not going ahead. But we've been streaming stuff on our Facebook in the place of where our shows would be.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Just yeah, old shows from a couple of years ago to get a bit of content out there when there would have been a show. 100% good match.
Yeah, so that's pulled it back up a bit. And now for your main event. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, the match I had on paper for this, for what I wanted from the main, was going to be Atsushi Onita against either Warhorse or David Arquette. And I'm about a million miles away from that. Yeah,
I mean, if I have you back once we've got the mods up and running again, we can make that happen, but
yeah.
Grado versus Vince McMahon, I think, is more than good enough to fill that spot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was spotting Vince on the roster. I had to get him in there somewhere.
So yeah, our top 5 is Viper, Amy Alonze, Manlin, who's one of the local guys up here. Second place is Sugar Dunkerton, and first place is one of the only people not even involved in the wrestling business who's been on. My friend Maya, who we had on when Viper was on.
Yeah.
She's actually still leading the group, unless you count the show I put on last night, which beat it. But I don't want to be putting myself over or anything like that. I don't want to be...
No, of course.
I don't worry about it, Tigray in the chat, don't worry about it. I mean, I feel bad. Like, I was just like looking at random messages, and yeah, sorry I missed that out. And here we go, Vince McMahon, who left the WWE to become a deathmatch legend after being put in a deathmatch with a bear. That was what Manlin booked. Vince versus the bear in a deathmatch.
Excellent.
The following month, Vince McMahon left the WWE to become a deathmatch legend. And I think a month or 2 after that, WWE went out of business. We'd like to thank our sponsor on the apron there, Spice Records as well, who, get this, part of their clause for remaining our sponsors is that Aisha Raymond must remain under contract. And no danger of that, we're not going to release Aisha Raymond, she rules. And you say that, Chainsaw, I have seen footage of Aisha Raymond and Jayla Dark doing karaoke together, so... And when I say doing karaoke together, I mean Jayla drunkenly doing karaoke while Aisha just kind of stares at her, but still... Well, there's that sleeper hold he was trying to put Manlin away with last night. Vince going up against it with Grado, the king of strong style. Oh, thank you, Viking. Appreciate that. We've got this roster here that is a good mix of, you know, the local Scottish scene, independent names, and a few legends and stuff thrown in for good measure. A lot of the ones we've had, the guests we've had, I beg your pardon, are on our roster, and people that they've wanted to sign and stuff like that. We'll be back on tomorrow with former ICW referee Eddie Sideburns. On Sunday we're going to have the... Oh, Sugar Dunkerton's amazing. He's a great guy. His stream was a blast. On Sunday we're going to have Alan Smith, who is actually a promoter for Discovery Wrestling based here in Edinburgh. On Monday we're going to have Courtney Rush, aka Rosemary, and on Tuesday we're going to have Sarah Marie Taylor, who's kind of wrestled all over the place, including ICW and Pro Wrestling Eve in the early days. And we'll have plenty more set up after that as well. Just try to... We've got people who are in, we just need to sort out what days they're going to come on or whatever. I also like to just again point out, if because I can't see if anyone has, but if any donations do come in at the link below, they're going to be forwarded to the Resistance Gallery Fund, which is going to help keep them afloat during COVID-19. Resistance Gallery, a well-regarded venue for wrestling in London. Oh, Vince, just the disrespect on show.
So I'm back. I've managed to miss almost all of this match, but I'm glad to see it still going on.
Oh, wee bit of shimmying for Grado.
Just in time for bionic elbow.
Oh, low blow.
Oh!
He was doing this to Manlin the other night as well. Going for the grapefruits, Jim says. Grado might have balls the size of grapefruits once this is done. Oh, here we go. King of Strong Style Grado at it again. Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, Vince.
You know, at the same time, I'm just imagining Grado verbally selling it.
Yeah, No, that can't be it.
Not like this.
Yes.
Oh, Grado. I just but oh, Vince, my balls, man.
Oh.
No, don't give up, Grado. Not like this. Oh, come on. That man might want to have children someday. No chance! No chance to sell! Reboot!
Hey! Yes!
That's my boy. There they are. They're pulling you right back up. So let's have a look, see how we did overall. Angel Hayes is injured. Oh no!
Oh no!
88.7, which... bring up the thing. So that would slot you into joint 11th place,
Right.
alongside Aisha Raymond.
I'll take that.
Could have been higher had Marty Jannetty not bailed on us.
Yeah, I'm putting a large amount of that blame on the shoulders of Marty Jannetty.
We still made money at least. Yeah, as noted by Jim, like Tenzan and Kojima won the New Japan belts, and I think that's the first time that we've seen a tag team win belts in another promotion that are actually a tag team.
And in that promotion.
Jayla Dark was a guest on Mexican variety show Sabado Pequeño. That means little something. They pulled solid ratings. Right, I've screen capped that so I can like Photoshop her face onto it later. And also to make Jayla Dark wrestle Nathan Martin on the next show. Okay. Ah, yeah, you can wrestle for us. Hayo can wrestle for us too. He's good. So yeah. So we're getting there. We're improving. If we have a look at promotion stats, yeah, we're no longer bottom tier of popularity in Japan, which is where we just ran.
Good, good.
We're still the biggest company in Europe by quite a distance. But now, before we finish things off, there's one thing I have to ask everyone. You're right, Suskat, it was all Jannetty's fault.
It was.
I mean, Viper probably could have been higher than 5th, but she had a match end early by critical.
Oh, right, okay.
So the question I have for you all is, who are we going to put into a shoot fight with a bear?
I think it has to be Marty Jannetty.
Oh, well, yeah. Yep, get Jannetty, the chat are saying as well. So Marty Jannetty versus a bear, it's official. And if by some miracle he wins, then we're going to have to put someone against him until he loses.
Shoot fight legend Marty Jannetty.
The king of pancakes, Marty Jannetty. That's it. If he wins, we're putting him against Suzuki. Referee for these fights, as always, the giant from Twin Peaks.
So it is, yeah.
Jannetty's doing no bad.
He is doing well.
But that bear will smack you.
Yeah, there's no ropes for him to attempt to climb, so I think that works in the bear's favour. Don't go for pins, Marty.
The aeroplane spin doesn't get the job done. Janetta's doing better than I expected him to.
Yeah, he might make it to the end of this round.
It's usually the second round the bear wins. Can you imagine if someone whipped out a drop to hold in a victory roll in a legit contest? Well, you say that. Genki Sudo once did a giant swing in a legit contest. And won.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. That did happen, yeah.
I mean, goodness knows I'm not an MMA guy, but I would love to see Genki Sudo go to wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see that spot, dropping out of a suplex and just punching them in the back of the...
It kind of sounds like something Chris Candido would have done.
Yes, yeah. Come on, ref.
Oh, there's no DQs here, anything goes.
Oh, right. There's depth perception playing on him again.
Dead Shadow says, bear for president. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Bear digging in with that elbow, displaying the right to bear arms. Oh, we're into the third round. Not something we see that often.
No. He's hanging in there.
Oh. Since when has Marty Jannetty done a Fujiwara armbar? Come on. Oh, now Marty with the shoot punches.
Yeah.
Ha! That'll show you.
Oh, wow.
Just power bombed into a fine paste by a bear.
I couldn't tell for a moment whether that was a Hurricane Runner or a powerbomb until he just didn't get up.
It was an attempt at a Hurricane Runner reversed into a powerbomb.
Fantastic.
So, thank you everyone who's joined in this evening. Thank you to Patrick for coming in and joining us.
Yeah, cheers guys, thanks for having me.
The usual end of thing plugs. First of all, plug your own stuff, Patrick.
Oh well, what do I have to plug? You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Patrick_W_Reed. Mostly chatting shit about wrestling. Once or twice a week at the moment, while we're all stuck at home, I'm trying to do a video stream of just assorted wrestling matches. So if you follow me on Twitter, you might see me talking about that as and when I'm going to do one. Otherwise, check out Channel Islands World Wrestling on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be streaming shows intermittently. There's one coming up on Sunday at 6 o'clock. For the time being, I think that's about all I've got to plug.
Well, I'll quickly plug tomorrow's one. We have Eddie Sideburns, former ICW referee, joining us. He's going to be booking. That'll be starting at 7 PM UK time tomorrow. And we're going to raid Mildly Amusing again, and for the benefit of anyone who's missed it, oh, thank you, Tigray. I do enjoy having the guests that I have, and I do try to seek out good people. So we're going to raid Mildly Amusing, and just for anyone who missed me saying about it the other day, Mildly Amusing is doing a charity stream on April 30th. It's going to be a Total Extreme Wrestling stream, the Wrestling Booker Sim. He's going to be going for 12 hours. I think it's 2 PM to 2 AM, I think, UK time, but don't quote me on that. But it's April 30th anyway. It's going to be to raise money for the Dogs Trust UK. And he's very kindly asked me to be a guest on it, which I will be. So I'll be there as well, and I'm going to be trying to rustle up some nice people to join us. Andrew Everett's going to be one of the ones that's coming in for it. So we're going to go raid him now. He's just messing around on Total Extreme Wrestling. Go and tell him I said hello. Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you next time. I'll be, as I said, I'll be back on tomorrow with Eddie, and catch you later. Bye for now.